What I want to talk about in this particular video though, guys, is whether or not foam is useful when you're kind of pre-washing and when you're cleaning alloys and when you're spraying it on dirt on the exteriors. Now, from a simple point of view, one, foam looks amazing. It just looks good. When you put thick foam out, and I've been using this IK foamer, there's something quite satisfying about it, and there's something about it that I kind of like. I don't like the fact you've got a lot of effort to get that bloody foam. You've got to keep pumping the thing. That annoyed me slightly, but I liked the foam sitting there. But here's an observation. All of the thin products here that are loose liquid, I was also testing Corosol in there as well as a wheel cleaner, you know, the bleeding fallout remover. All of the thin liquids, Spritzer, Koch Chemie, Green Star, even Valet Pro Bilberry, actually to a lesser extent with the Bilberry, but the very thin liquids create really thick, fluffy foam. You know, incredible foam that looks like a mousse that's coming out of a can, you know, the old hair mousse. You remember you used to get that? Stick it in your hair and your hair would go like sticky. Not that I wear hair products, I've got no hair left nowadays. We'll put it in there to hold it all in. So the thin products created very thick foam, and I put it over the alloy wheel. Here's some observations. One, when it's spitting out very thick foam, it tends to miss spots. Whereas when it's kind of more watery, it kind of moves around and runs a little bit, you know, a bit like when you're spreading oil around in the bottom of your saucepan and frying pan to get it to cover. When you put that foam in the bottom of your saucepan, it will just stick there and it won't move around. But when you've got a liquid, it kind of moves and covers stuff. So I noticed I had to kind of go back over the spots kind of that I missed with the foam. That's the first thing. It's quite important, that is, because it's not soaking it properly if you've got all this thick foam. The second thing is, most of that thick foam, it's only a tiny micron that's actually touching the dirt and working on the dirt. All the rest of the foam that's sticking to it in a big ball and stuff like that is not actually hitting the product. So I know the counter argument is going to be, oh, but you get amazing cling with thick foam. But here's the thing. With the thick foam, mousse-like foam, when it starts to run off the panel and off the alloys and all that sort of stuff, it just pulls the product with it in a mousse. And what's left behind as it slides down is just dry dirt with no product on it. Now here's something I noticed. And this is not an advert for the wheel shampoo. You can't even buy it yet. And this is in private testing. Okay, so all my feedback goes to Marios. And this isn't really feedback about this particular product, it's just an observation. This product is a gel, okay? So a lot of times gelling agents in products get stick for like, oh, it's just a gimmick to put the gel in there. And I was kind of that opinion. It's just thickening agent and it serves no purpose. When I put this in the IK foamer and spray it, and I spray it over the wheel, the alloy wheel, what I saw was a thinner product. So it wasn't all thick foam, even at a good concentration ratio, a high concentration ratio of about 1 to 10, which is quite a lot of product for this. It's designed to go in a bucket primarily. But what I got was that product just sprayed over the alloy wheels. It moves around a little bit because it's a slightly thinner liquid. Doesn't just run off of the car though, it just sticks there, but does sort of fall a little bit. And it just covered the alloy wheel perfectly, and it just stuck there. So all of the product is just sitting on top of the alloy wheel, not really moving. There's a slight bit, you can see some of it going down and stuff like that. And 10 and 15 minutes later, that thick gel-like product is still sitting exactly on the alloy wheel with virtually none of it coming off. Any of these foaming products, straight away, they are just running off the car. And like I say, the dirt is dry and not being soaked. Now, the counter argument to all of this is really, you could say, well, I just want to put the foam on to the car to kind of, you know, to the alloy wheel in this case, just so I can work it and it will cling there for a little bit. Well, one, I'd say the extra thick foam doesn't really help with that at all, versus just spraying the product onto the, you know, all inside the alloy wheel barrel and the face of the alloy, and then just working it immediately, or having, which is probably the best way to do it, or having a bucket, you know, full of product and foam, and then going in, you know, with your buckets and brushing and doing it, because it's the contact of those brushes which is the thing which removes the dirt the most. But ideally, if you're putting the product on first and working it, that is much better than just going in on the dirt, you know, with a bucket and the product in a bucket. So you would always perhaps pre-rinse your car anyway, especially your alloy wheels, and blast it with the pressure washer to get some of that off. But the overall kind of conclusions on this video is that nothing against the IK foamer, because it's a product to deliver your foam, and that's what it does. But it's the foam itself did not, or does not, help really in any way with cleaning the alloy wheels. And the thicker the foam, it looks amazing, but it's drier almost, and it wets the dirt less. And I can show you exactly what I mean. And it's just coming off of the car more. So I think you're actually better off with just a suitable concentration of product, getting it all in there and working it really. So in terms of these products, this is not like a product kind of shootout thing. You know, Green Star for me does the job, and I can spray it in there at 10:1 and work it. The only real one which you would call close to contactless cleaning, because there's no way you can contactless clean the sort of dirt on alloys. You know, the pressure washer can have more impact than these if you start getting it closer, but you don't really want to do it that way. The only ones that are really closer to contactless are the bleeding fallout removers, where if you actually put these on the product, they dissolve so much of that rust component in the brake dust that it really does just turn all of the sort of brake dust film into like a red gel, and then when you rinse it, this takes off the most, even more contactlessly than a strong acid. The acid doesn't sort of melt it all off of the car as much, but it does break it down so that when you go back in with the contact, it comes off very easily. None of these other products as well, or these other wheel cleaners, apart from the acid, really, so with the exception of Corosol, do much to the stuck on tiny little specks of bonded fallout in the car. That's another disadvantage with non-bleeding fallout removers. These products, these fallout removers, are extremely effective in my opinion, and very useful. There was almost an argument back in the day, oh, the whole purple thing is just a gimmick. No way. When I've cleaned off these dirty alloys, I can still see the little specks of bonded fallout on there, okay, that these products can't remove. I go in with Corosol and spray it over, they light up, and then I just touch them with the soft brush, and you see the little chunks kind of fall off. These are really effective products, but they are quite expensive, and you have to, you know, they're generally not kind of concentrate, so you should use them perhaps a little bit more sparingly if you want to. You don't need to go hurling this over dirty alloys and watching it all light up like a Christmas tree, you know, because you're just really, a lot of the product is reacting with fallout that is just on the surface and will just come off anyway. So you're kind of just getting a reaction when you didn't need to. But even if you do use them like that, and some of the manufacturers have actually told you that's how you should use them, but even if you do use them like that, they are still extremely effective. So it's kind of up to you. But you know, a simple kind of powerful cleaner that you can work, you know, because it's the contacts and the brushes doing it, is the best way forward. And foam, for me, especially thick foam, doesn't really add anything. It does not help with that process. What you know, it looks so good when you've got like a thick white foam, because you can see all the surface dirt, you know, on the white background, and it makes you think, oh, look at it, all the dirt is coming out. It doesn't make any difference, guys. It's just you can see it more with the thick foam. But like I say, the foam actually pulls the product off of the alloy wheel. If it's overly foamy, what's left is dry dirt on there. So you want something, if you're into that kind of spraying on and all that sort of stuff, you want something that actually clings, and you don't really need a foamer to kind of deliver you that. That's the purpose of this video, and that's my opinion. You know, it's splitting the atom a little bit, guys. You know, again, if someone says to me, no, I just like using foamers to put them over there, then fair enough. But really, if your aim is to get the alloy wheel clean, it's kind of less about product. You should find a suitable product, but it's more about endeavour and getting in there with the right sort of brushes and all that sort of stuff that's really going to get you results, I think. But common sense as well, that a good pre-wash first to get as much of that loose brake dust off is always a really good idea. So let me know your thoughts on this one, guys. I think it's an interesting kind of discussion, and again, there perhaps isn't a right or wrong, but those are some observations I've made in the last kind of hour or so playing around with these things, and they reinforce what I already thought. So thanks for watching the Forensics Detailing channel. I will see you again later on. Bye for now.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I when you